Hey guys, welcome. This is your April Love Tarot monthly energy update. So we're looking at the whole month, week by week. Just so you know, this is time stamped. If you want to go down to get to where you want to go, I'm going to start with the Oracle, give you some astrology for the month of April, and then we'll do the tarot reading. You can watch it any way you want, and some of you may want to come back here and tap back into the astrology to check where you're at for any given week of the month, because it's gonna be a little wild. So first we're gonna start with Ascension Angel cards. I'm gonna pull a couple cards, get a feeling for the flow of the month to activate the reading. Please remember, this is for all signs. It's just a general reading for the collective, for all signs in the collective for the month of April. The extended will go by zodiac signs, Aries through Pisces. Let's see where we are. Honor how far you have come. Nurture your physical body. Okay, that's a good message. And connect with nature. We're getting two cards here that kind of feel to me like it's talking about self-care. And those of us who follow the astrological chart year more than we do the Gregorian calendar year. Like I see Aries season as my new year. I definitely see it that way. I see the equinox and, sun moving into Aries as my new year. I really do. And I have for a long time. I always feel better about the year ahead by the time I get to this time of year. And I do tend to get back on my game. I just recently did like a 5-day cleanse. I'm so proud of myself. Cheated a little bit, okay. I still lost a lot, a lot for me. And it feels good to kind of get back here in touch with my body, to nurture myself, connect with nature, a nice walk on the beach, had a lovely brunch with my daughter. So for those of you who celebrate, happy Easter. But yeah, this is the time, this is the month to honor how far you have come, and then to get back in touch with you, to say, okay, done a lot, dealt with a lot, overcome a lot, feel like I've come so far, and now I want to really dive deep on my self-care routines. Yeah. Nurture yourself, connect with nature. That feels good. So let me talk about the month of April. Okay. So do I break it to you? How do I rip off this Band-Aid? April 1st, Mercury stations retrograde in Aries. Mercury retrograde in Aries is always usually a little bit more disruptive and a little more violent to me. I don't like it. Just keep in mind that, think about Aries ruler is Mars. So this is a Mars-ruled retrograde for Mercury. And it can be jarring. There can be misunderstandings, miscommunications, arguments, tempers flare, fights, right? So keep that all in mind, because I read about relationships. So I'm going to just say it that way. He is retrograde till the 25th, and then he turns around and goes direct back over all the territory he's going to cover for the first 3 weeks of the month. So we're in for the long haul, guys, and it can be a bit of a bumpy ride. That's why. Double check your travel plans for sure. And, if you have them. And, I went ahead and I haven't in a long time. I did a backup of my whole YouTube channel. I'm like, I am not taking any chances with Mercury retrograde in Aries. So, right, things feel inflamed. Just going to say. Now, on April 4th. Venus moves into Aries. So we already have Mercury there, retrograde, and then Venus moves into Aries. She's not happy there. I mean, Aries is Mars's territory, she says. It's kind of like, when you've got a partner and you're kind of like, I don't want to stay at your house. Why can't we stay at my house where I like my bathroom, I like all my makeup is here, and I don't want to stay at your house. Right? It's like, it brings me back to the Friends episodes where they were changing apartments because they lost a bed. And I just so related to that. Or even remember the Will and Grace show, and there was just always something that came through to me where I was kind of like, I don't want to be in the boys' place. So that's how Venus feels when she is in Aries, and she will be for the month of April. On the 8th of April, big day, huge day, we have a new moon, big enough, in Aries, powerful enough, with a total solar eclipse coming across North America. I bought my eclipse glasses, so just in case you haven't, grab some now. Yeah, big, powerful day. April 8th, new moon in Aries with a total solar eclipse. The new moon, right? We already know in the new moon, the moon goes dark in favor of the sun. Now the sun's going to go dark. And so in the middle of the day, here on the eastern seaboard, about 2:20 in the afternoon or so, that's what's going to be the experience. And so it's almost like with the new moon, when we set intentions, I'm going to implore you to consider making it a point to double down at that moment, whatever time it is for you. If it's 2:20 in the afternoon here on the East Coast, it'll be what, 11:20 a.m., 12:12. Yeah, on the West Coast, it'll be later in the day across the pond. And like, find when it's exact for you, even if you can't see it and it's not visible, and make that the time that you set your intentions in the fertile darkness when even the sun powers down. I love that as a metaphor for intentions you will set for the year, for the next 12 months, not just for this lunar cycle. Big, powerful day. I know, I'm really excited about it. Then on the 10th of April, from that point forward, it's just about a lot of conjunctions of all the major planets. We've got Mars and Saturn. Conjunct means they're lined up. Like, if we look up from our vantage point on the Earth, they're kind of like right on top of each other. Mars and Saturn will be conjunct on the 10th. I know. Boom. Saturn is a great teacher and the Lord of Karma. Mars is like, don't come in and give me limitations and restrictions. So there's a little friction there. On the 11th, the Sun, right? Our ego, our personality, our conscious awareness is conjunct Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of like we get to see where things aren't gelling for us. On the 19th, Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus. So the 19th is a pretty powerful day, potentially for misunderstandings in matters of the heart, for harsh words in matters of the heart, for miscommunications, misreading a text or a message or whatever. Or if no communication at all comes through, the way we interpret that, right? The way it hurts us. So that's the 19th. The beautiful news is the very next day, Jupiter is conjunct Uranus. This is my favorite day of the whole month. It's a big reprieve. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and abundance and wants to give us all good things. And then it's conjunct Uranus, which is like lightning in a bottle. Expect the unexpected. Anything can happen and possibly will, and all for the better. Love that. And then on the 21st, because we cannot have good things even for more than one day, the sun will be square Pluto. And you know that I show you squares, floor meets wall, floor meets wall. And it's kind of immovable. There's a struggle. Sun square Pluto is like our conscious awareness is being shown. Like we're not quite done yet, right? Pluto wants to pull us down into the below to look at the dark, dank basement. So after this beautiful day on the 20th, the 21st is kind of like, yeah, that was fun. Now look here. It's not pleasant. And then on the 29th, we have Mars conjunct Neptune, and we're going to want to try to get out of the basement. We're going to try to want to get back on track and move forward. And then Neptune comes in with a fog machine and says, are you sure you know where you're headed? So as we close out April and move into May, we get that one last minute to get kind of spiritually centered before we continue moving forward on our path. That is the month of April in a snapshot. I did miss that on April 23rd, so after the Jupiter-Uranus yay and the Sun versus Pluto boo, then we have the full moon in Scorpio on the 23rd, but it's not an eclipse. Nevertheless, full moons kind of illuminate some stuff, and it's full moon in Scorpio, which is Pluto's territory. So what do you think is going to be illuminated on the 23rd? The stuff that we really don't want to look about on the 21st. Because on the 20th, we're like, yay, yay, yay. On the 21st, we're like, oh, this really sucks. Do I have to deal with this now? And on the 23rd, the full moon in Scorpio says, yeah, you gotta look at it. So just so you know, that's what I mean when I say gonna be a bumpy month. But if you are like me and you look to the planets in astrology for a little bit of an explanation as to why you are the way you are, it's helpful to know these things in advance. So like I said, it's time stamped. Come back throughout the month and say, okay, it's Monday. I made it as a reminder. Check that reading to see what this next week is going to bring. Woo! All right. We're off to the races. Here we go. I'm going to pull the overall energy for the month and then pull for each week of the month for you, your divine counterpart, and for the connection. 3 of Wands. I like it. Ships coming in. So there's some anticipation in the month of April in your connections. Oh my God. Oh, this is so beautiful. Like I can't even. This is your person's row. You? Huh. Okay, some of you are going to say, Mercury retrograde, who cares? Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, you know how they say March comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb, or if March comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. We had, where I live, we had the March kind of came in like a lamb, so I've been anticipating the lion, and it hasn't really been down here, but up north, lots of snowstorms, and it's supposed to be spring and all that. But I'm looking here and I'm feeling like April is coming in very lamb-like for many of us. Definitely for your person, week 1, they're going to be very reflective. This is total Mercury retrograde energy. And then week 2 is all about their thoughts about you, about your divine feminine. Would you be receptive, week 3, to them kind of coming in triumphantly? Seizing the day, the moment, the opportunity, making peace on anything that may have been misunderstood. So I'm almost feeling like if there was any misunderstanding, because we've got a 3 of Swords here, I feel like it has already occurred. For many of you, I feel like it has already occurred, and Mercury retrograde for the first 3 weeks of the month is going to give both of you an opportunity to think it through, to reflect on it, because look where this person is going as we close out April. Really powerful. So whoever your person is, they're making some shifts and adjustments during the month. You coming into the month of April with your thoughts and your energies all focused on life partnership or your future. I'm saying life partnership because week 2 is all about conventional committed relationships, the vows we make and take, and what does it mean to us? What are our beliefs around it? And then in week 3, things get a little bumpy. Just like I said, Sun bumps up against Pluto and it doesn't feel so good, and there's a little bit of tension and either some form of resistance or defensiveness, but it isn't anything you can't work out, because I feel like your person senses it and comes in to salvage the situation, and you're like, yeah, I feel we can work through it, and they're like, oh my God, that's all I wanted. So it's interesting that I see your person's objective here is that energy of, this feels like such an emotional relief. We've made peace. We're happy. There's emotional contentment. And you're kind of coming into the month with thoughts about the future and commitment. And then something hits a little teeny bit of a snag. but it's nothing you can't work through. Love that. For the connection, first week of April, we open up to some form of manifestation or an awareness that we are creative beings. We're souls having a human experience. It is not the other way around. We have all the tools at our disposal to manifest our desired outcomes. Second week, like I said, gets a little bumpy here, which is interesting because I thought this would come later, but it could be that old wounds rise up, right? Yeah, that might be when one and or both of you kind of pull back for a moment, and maybe communication around commitment, around the connection, get a little dicey, and there may be some old wounds that sort of resurface that need to be dealt with, because by week 3, it's like, hang on, we got this. We've got this. Let's not act in haste, because this is the relationship, right? Let's not act in haste. All things come into flow and balance. All these energies will sort themselves out. Let's not act on impulse, because here is the up-leveling of this connection by the end of the month. So that Ace of Pentacles can be an offer. It can absolutely be an up-leveling, a more committed energy. For some of you, it will be a new beginning after coming through something that was difficult or challenging that needs to be reconciled from the past, right? So it feels to me like for those of you who are already kind of humming along, ships are coming in. And for those of you who are anticipating what's to come, it looks like April is a month where you get to work a lot of things out. Yay. So let's jump in, see the 3 of Wands. It's been a struggle. Wow. Okay. So maybe part of the anticipation is I feel like I've been struggling every step of the way. And so my heels are a little dug in. And I am feeling like this is coming more from those of you watching because of this 7 of Wands. So your heels may be a little dug in. There may be a little resistance to any potential other outcome than the one you are anticipating. But underneath, you really want the wish fulfillment. You're really like, I just want to feel good again. So I'm seeing the 9 of Cups in a positive way because it's coming in from unconscious awareness. That's what I'm getting when I pull from the bottom of the deck. Right? I'm either getting something rising up in unconscious awareness that you can't see or playing out behind the scenes. And I feel like if it is playing out behind the scenes, you both want to feel good again. You both want to say, oh, this feels nice. But what you're anticipating kind of has you a little anxious, a little bit like a cat on a hot tin roof because it's been enough of a struggle. And the fact that it's both Wands in Aries season makes sense to me. Little tension, fiery tension there. So let's look at your person. I'm going to look at the Empress first to the, no, I'm not, because I want to understand the 4 of Swords to the 3 of Swords. But let's start here. Sorry. Yes. Okay, I'm glad I did that. Your person knows, and in this first week to the second week, they know you are the one. They know that they want you. They desire you. You kind of have cast a spell on them with that Queen of Wands underneath. That's the lure. That's the pull. But they're in deep thought about it. So they're in deep thought about, like, what do I want this to look like? The Knight of Pentacles always asks, what's my end game? What's the end goal, right? They begin with the end in mind. So they plot their course very specifically, very methodically, very deliberately, always with a plan. And if they're coming to the Holy Grail here, which is your beautiful love, right, they're going to give that a lot of thought. So I really love how this person is beginning the month in that first to second week with saying, this person has captured my heart. And I want to bring this person something tangible. I want to make an offer that's tangible. Look where we go, just so you know. So this is where it all begins. It's part of their thought process. I love that. So now let's look at the 6 of Wands to the 10 of Cups in week 3 to week 4. Queen of Cups, Magician, King of Swords. Yes, very strategic, honorable, wanting to do the right thing. This person will probably not speak a lot about their intentions and what their end game is, but if we see where they're beginning, we know that this person is coming toward the keeper of their heart. Yeah. And they're in manifestation mode. It's how we start the month, which is why they kind of go into this little bitty trance moment here, where they sort of kind of got to get clear on the path to get to their desired outcome, which is all the happiness that the world can hold for the two of you. So I do feel for those of you that there is some need for reconciliation. It's going to be a powerful one. For those of you where it's just more of a triumphant homecoming, a reconnection with this person, you know, because there really hasn't been a problem, but it's like they're coming towards you with an offer, I feel, that is a lot more stable and maybe more well thought out. 3D-ish level is what I'm trying to say. So it really looks beautiful. Now for you, we got some issues here. So I want to look at the 10 of Pentacles to the Hierophant, week 1 to week 2. Ace of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, there it is, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so on some level, there has been a challenge to your sense of self-worth and value. Could be the dynamic in this relationship hasn't been supportive enough to leave you feeling that this person values you to the degree that they should, to be somebody you would think about a future with. But you're thinking about a future. You're thinking about marriage. You're thinking about commitment. You're thinking about, right? When is that going to arrive for me? So, and I don't mean that in any other way than to say you're entering this new astrological year and this first month of the new astrological year with some anticipation of it sort of pointing the way forward with regard to this connection. And this 5 of Pentacles under the deck, yeah, that's something that I feel like it's kind of gonna get right here. And if it isn't dealt with by way of you examining your own motivations, it's going to find its way off the tongue in a flash of anger, because something here is telling me that you feel you have been devalued on some level, or at least, you know how sometimes we feel like somebody puts us on a shelf, you know? That's the energy that I'm seeing here, where you really want to be front and center. And I do feel that that is going to unfold, but I feel as you come into the month of April, this person is in 4 of Swords. They're not talking much. They're more in planning phases and you know, creating their strategy and their plan, and you're not getting the responses that you need, and that's very common in Mercury retrograde, so it's not just you. And I feel like it's coming from a place where you're not sure that this person values you. So then we go from that to week 2 to week 3, Hierophant to the 7 of Wands. Chariot. You're either in or you're out is what I hear you saying. Are you on board or am I going it alone? Because for some reason here between week 2 and week 3 is where you hit the wall a little bit. You're like, giddy up, let's go. No time to waste. I want to move forward. I want to make progress. I want the commitment. You're either in or you're out. I either have your cooperation and co-creation or I don't. If I don't, I'll just go on my way. So it does feel like you get your back up a little bit between week 2 and week 3, a little bit more toward week 3. And it just probably perfectly timed with Sun square Pluto. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we get to see the underbelly at that moment when we go, oh, yeah, that didn't feel good. But then it seems like you are able to work it out. I'm going to pull an extra card for the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. We can work on restoring a sense of fairness, balance. Especially if this person takes some measure of accountability for anything that has left you with some kind of heavy heart or feeling devalued, like I said. But justice is mainly about fairness, balance, harmony. Yeah, that feels good. You'll work through it in a nice, balanced way. So now for the connection. I want to see this week 2 to week 3, the 3 of Swords to the Temperance card. Queen of Pentacles, Hierophant again, 2 of Cups. This is definitely a month where we're facing realities around our desire for commitment. For some of us, it's marriage, right? Like we're already at a level and we want the next level. For others of us, we want to get out of this phase of things being amorphous and get it nice and tight, and especially before we move into Taurus season at the end of the month, right? Which is all about, it's Venus ruled, is all about things in 3D, being tangible. And we have a lot of Taurus energy here with a double hit of the Hierophant. And the Queen of Pentacles is all about feminine archetype of life partnership. And I feel like you're kind of coming into week 2 together with some wounds around that, or with some heart heaviness or some heartache. And here's the focus on the connection and commitment and life partnership. And you know what happens toward the end of week 2 into week 3? You both realize that you got to let it ride. That all these energies will work themselves out. All these energies will work themselves out, and everything will come back into flow and balance. But it's going to take a little bit of effort, a little bit of focus, time, attention on this connection. But I do feel like it's week 2 to week 3 where things kind of get real. They get real. And then let's look at Temperance to the Ace of Pentacles, week 3 to week 4. 4 of Wands, Tower, Page of Swords. So, like I'm saying here, I'm seeing something where this Tower, because the way that I looked at your situation here, week 2 to week 3, and I said week 3 feels dicier, but it gets worked out by the end of the month. And what are you coming in with? You're coming in strong. You're coming in hot. And that is what the Tower feels like to me. Is it feels like you get a little shook. This is Mars, right? And as I said, at the end of the month, Mars is going to conjunct Neptune. And things get a little bit dicey and confusing, and we're curious what's happening here. We have this beautiful connection. Well, that Mars shake-up energy toward the end of the month, between week 3 and heading into week 4, it's why you're being guided to be so to be temperate. Think of what it means to be temperate. It means to manage your temper, to kind of ride the waves, to trust in your own understanding of the wisdom of patience. It's not just about TikTok, when is X, Y, or Z going to happen. It's about, this is just a snapshot in time. And something bigger and better is going to come on the other side of what feels very unstable right now. That's what this is talking about. In your connection, we've got the 4 of Wands on Temperance, and then right? Mars comes in to shake us up, to get our attention, to point out where there are cracks in the foundation if we're thinking about commitment. If we're thinking about up-leveling the connection, we got to look to see where the cracks are to make sure that it doesn't come tumbling down. Sometimes the tower is not about a tower moment. Sometimes it's about checking out what's not sustainable, looking at, shining the bright light. We're going to have the full moon in Scorpio on the 23rd, which this is also a card of Scorpio because Mars used to rule Scorpio. So it's like that moment where we put the Klieg lights on the foundation before we start building the structure. That's what I feel like I'm looking at for the end of the month for your connection. Okay, but you come out on the other side with an Ace of Pentacles, new investment, right? New beginning. Let's do this for realsies, and it feels pretty good. So that's what I have for you, my lovelies, for the month of April. I'm going to give you the astrology that showed up here right now, and then we'll head to the extended. Please let me remind you that there are options for the extended. You can still get the one-time purchase. There's a link there, but there's a new monthly offer for all of the individual zodiac signs. So if you want this to be kind of free, like a freebie, you'll want to go to your favorite sign and sign up for the monthly. But for here, if you've already signed up for a monthly or you already have the all access pass for all the extendeds, you already get access to this extended. Just wanted you to know so you don't repurchase, because some of you have been doing that. Happy to make the refunds, but don't want you to go to the initial expense. Here we go. Knight of Pentacles is Virgo. Queen of Wands is Aries. Empress is Venus, Taurus, and Libra. Queen of Cups is Cancerian energy. Magician is out twice. That's Mercury, FYI, Virgo and Gemini. Our King of Swords is Aquarius. We've got the Hierophant here. I'll hold up this one twice. That's Taurus. Chariot is more Cancerian energy. Nine of Pentacles is some Virgo. Justice is Libra. We've got the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. Temperance is Sagittarian energy. As I said, for the Tower is Mars, which rules Aries. And our Page of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All in all, big month. Take a little breather. Honor how far you've come up till now, and then exercise a little self-care. And I'm going to head to the extended now, where I'm going to take a deeper dive by individual zodiac sign. The link to that is below. Bye for now.